I am extremely bullish. Hello everyone, hope you guys are having amazing day. XRP's around $2.12. Yeah, just when I bought the top the other day. I mean, it's fine. I knew what I was getting myself into, guys. And immediately the news with the case came out today, guys. Which is fine. You know that bullish news for XRP is actually bearish, and bearish news for XRP is actually bullish. Right? You guys realize this, so that's why I'm actually bullish here, because Bitcoin's about to create a new all-time high. You guys ready? So I'm going to be connecting the dots here. You should not give up, guys. I'm pretty sure what they did today is for you to sell, right, in frustration and being sad and angry, guys, and then they're gonna pump it. We have noticed this. The pattern is clear, right? It's a reoccurring pattern here. So let me connect the dots. Let us see what happens next, because in actual reality, there's so much bullish things happening with the XRP ledger, right? Upgrades and the evolvement of the XRP ecosystem in general from CoinMe. XRP is here. We have just added XRP to 28,000 plus retail location across the United States where you can buy and sell XRP with cash. With cash, right? Remember, this was the first major coin that did this, I think, was Bitcoin, right? The XRP ledger continues to expand use cases for banking and remittance purposes. Here's to the XRP army. So basically, I don't know where these are located at to buy XRP, guys, but the future finance is now in your neighborhood at a CoinMe location, and available in the CoinMe app with your debit card, guys. So that's pretty cool, right? It's entering literally the real world now, bridging the two together. And look at this. Today is Wednesday, June 25th to 25, and Ripple ad is still up on loop in Times Square, New York City, guys. All the money. What's going on here, right? They didn't even stop the ads, and it's been repeating every day supposedly. Let's see. It's happening to bonds, I think. Wow. It's literally in the heart of New York, guys. Look at that. You understand what that means, right? And it's one of the bigger ad spaces out there too. That means anybody who doesn't realize or notices about Ripple or XRP can now have a chance to look it up and have and do research on it and buy and get into this community. And not to mention, it's programming people's subliminal mind, right, for the future of finance, and that is XRP. So how are people bearish? Well, we're about to talk about it here in just a sec, but I honestly think that's so bullish. Which guys, I literally couldn't go sleep today, right? I was looking at the charts, I was having anxiety, or I was like, hurry up, right? But I was confused about what's going on with XRP. Now I don't think I am anymore. I think I know what's going on, and I'm going to be talking about it and exposing it all here in just a sec. Now, guys, we're from part of XRP in the XRP community note. This is quite interesting from XRP. Mr. Pool, once upon a time, on this day, 6/26/2021, tweeted out, "Now!" Or, in reverse, it's won. But we didn't win today, did we? We actually, quote-unquote, lost. But maybe if you look at a different angle about what happened with the SEC case, we won. Maybe it's not too bearish after all. Today, now. Right, we are ready now. Davey Schwartz just replied to this tweet. XRP Ledger, EVM, Ethereum Virtual Machine is ready. Wallets are ready. dApps are ready. Infrastructure is ready. Analytics is ready. XRP Ledger community is ready. Should we go ahead and launch mainnet? Davey Schwartz replied, if you could just hold off for just a little bit longer. Wait, why is he saying this? Right, why is he saying this? We're near the finish line, that means. Right, just a little bit more to go, guys, and it's game over. But the reason why he said that is probably because of this. Judge Torres, breaking, has denied the party's motion for an indicative ruling from Stewart. Well, with this, the ball is back in our court. The court gave us two options: dismiss our appeal challenging the finding on historic institutional sales, or press forward with the appeal. Stay tuned. Either way, XRP's legal status as not a security remains unchanged. In the meantime, it's business as usual. Right? So at this point, guys, I honestly don't even know what's going on with this case. I don't know. There are two reasons this is happening. Number one, delay for a specific outcome, right? For a an external event to take place, such as the world not being ready. For it to be ready, then they're just gonna automatically be done with this case, right? That's point number one. Point number two, I honestly don't know other than that, right? Or maybe they want people to sell, but I don't think that's the case from Bank XRP. This delay doesn't shake things up. It's just a waiting game, right? So why is it the case? Judge Torres' message in the ruling is that private deals don't erase public judgments, and her judgment still serves the public interest. The parties do not have the authority to agree not to be bound by a court's final judgment. They have not come close to doing so here. If they want out, she said, they could withdraw their appeal and get the judgment stand, or go through the appeals process to challenge it. So basically, does Ripple pay the fine and live with the injunction but get an exemption from the SEC for future sales? So I think the prior sales of XRP, right, for institutions are declared securities, right? I think Ripple can just pay the fine and live with the injunction, guys, right? But future sales are green lit. It depends on the context. So I believe something interesting here is taking place. This could be beneficial to XRP, honestly. Why? Public exchange sales. Judge Torres ruled that XRP sold on public exchanges does not meet the legal definition of a security. This means that future sales of XRP on secondary markets, where buyers and sellers are matched without knowing the identity of the other party, are not considered securities under the Howey test. Which then means what? The setup for the massive supply shock continues. He means institutions will be forced to buy XRP from the exchanges rather than direct from Ripple, which means supply shock faster on exchanges. If that happens, guys, it's game over. If these institutions have to buy from the open market, by the way, right, and they're forced to, it's gonna get diabolical because XRP is gonna moonshot. I'm telling you, that's how the supply shock occurs. Right now for Bitcoin, that's how it's happening, right? They're buying Bitcoin off the open market from BlackRock and over the counter and all these things, but off the market definitely. That's why Bitcoin is rising. We need the same thing with XRP, but this is how they will get it possibly, right? If I'm not mistaken, guys. So then, for institutional sales, however, the injunction imposed by Judge Torres specifically addresses the future sales to institutions. The injunction prevents Ripple from violating securities laws, which implies that any future sales of XRP to institutional investors must comply with securities regulations, unless explicitly exempt or clarified otherwise, right? Or they could just go through this path. Interesting. That's how. Yeah. Could this tie in with the Shane Ellis? Theory somehow? TLDR is welcome to the new SEC, for now more or less the same as the last one, right? Isn't it a little bit strange that it's the same SEC, right? When they target or talk about Ripple, it's the same SEC as the previous ones, right? It's literally the same. Nothing has changed. But when the SEC talks about Bitcoin or other cryptos, they're so positive and cheerful, right? Something doesn't add up here, does it? Right? Something seems odd. Why is XRP the one that's so, or Ripple the one that's so tied up, right? While every other coin out there is freely jumping around and doing their happy dance. I don't know, but the BC backer says maybe there's a white swan event up ahead. Exactly. Market isn't positioning itself for announcement of both appeals dropped any moment, right? From Meta Lawman, my guess is we'll see dismissals of both appeals soon because the lawyers for both sides have had to have anticipated this outcome. There it is, right? So could there be a white swan event up ahead? I do believe so, guys, because I am actually bullish on XRP here. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I know people are bearish and XRP is dumping, right? But to me, that it seems bullish, right? Giving XRP to the other side. The Riddlers warned. So hey, extra VOD, when will the case end? When will the case truly end? I'm thinking, again, that time frame of ours, right? It's that time to circle back to this tweet, which David Schwartz told us this is almost done. On July 23rd, he said serving, right? Which means it's done and over, guys, right? Finally, we could enjoy the dish, right? And watch this, the week of glory, July 21st, right? I think it's finally here. It appears that way, July 22nd. There it is. That's it, guys. end of July is when the case ends, or like around July to August, right? And probably the bottoming process of XRP has finished by then, and that's it. We just fly basically, right? So July, end of July, watch out for that, which could come out too today though, right? Which is one or now. Interesting, on the Chinese lunar calendar. Not to mention July 23rd, play your cards right. You are player on the finish line. That's odd. On the finish line, you say, right? And that comes from that comes from Ripple Riddler on July 23rd. You know why that's strange? Because if you go to this tweet, tomorrow's date, we are player on the finish line. It's gonna happen overnight. The Phoenix will rise, folks. Right, so it's clear as day to me. July, end of July. Just wait until it's literally a month from now, less than a month from now. Right, that's it. You're a player on the finish line. The most difficult section, you may win, but the price is unknown. Okay, there it is. So prepare. To me, you know what it feels like to me? Everything that's happening right now. Well, it feels like everything's being bottled up, guys. Right? It's like, imagine a beach ball underwater and someone is holding it. Right? And then when they're gonna let go soon, obviously that's the SEC's hand. So imagine SEC holding XRP underwater, okay, and it can't breathe or nothing. But at some point, the SEC will remove their hand from the beach ball, right, which is XRP, and what's gonna happen to the beach ball? Pop, right? Explosion, kaboom. So that's what it feels like to me. It's like the emotions are being bottled up for that moment, guys. And I know it's gonna happen because when you look at the charts and liquidity is literally flying everywhere towards the upside. You don't think they're gonna take it overnight? It's gonna happen overnight. I promise. It's gonna be vertically pumped. Why? Even Arthur Brittle confirmed this. The blue brick literally confirms. Follow the blue light. It will lead you to an avalanche. An avalanche. It will all happen at once, enormously. How are you bullish right now with everything being quote unquote bearish? Here it is, folks. This is what I think will happen. I was confused. I'm like, what's going to happen with XRP, right? Something seems odd. Something doesn't seem to be adding up with me. I think what happens to XRP here is, okay, so check this out. I'm going to make it as clear as day. Liquidity was taken finally from this huge range on XRP versus Bitcoin. Check mark number 1 complete. It just took it, okay? That's why we pumped. But it's coming back down for another liquidity take. And then there's going to be a bullish divergence formed. And guess what? If that gets confirmed, that's going to pump like that. You guys ready? You guys see how they time the bearish news, right? So people become bearish and they're going to probably make it pop up, right? So I guess something like this, guys, and then pop it up like that, right? Then from then on, we'll see what happens, right? But that's like a few steps ahead. So that's what I think will happen, guys. I honestly believe that, but if it doesn't happen, then I don't know, right? But I'm most definitely bullish because CME's XRP futures hit 500,000 volume in first month with 45% of trades from outside North America, right? So volume is increasing. Remember, volume precedes price, which means price is about to take action here soon, right? So do not be bearish. I did have some like an altcoin of the XRP ecosystem, guys, right? And I sold that for XRP today, so I'm bullish, most definitely. So whenever the regulation molasses lid is popped, right, and this falls and breaks, and finally XRP is set free, guys. You guys understand? The fountain for today's video, right here, guys. Yeah, so I wouldn't be bearish if I were you, right? Look at this. Controlled 627. Interesting. 627 Black Swan. Everything's flipped on its head. 627, huh? They look at the flood of liquidity to be imminent. A lot of black swans for tomorrow's date, which today we know what happened. Very odd and very interesting. Let us prepare, but I'm bullish, not financial advice. But anyways, that's all for this. See ya.